It's the 2018-19 season at the Playhouse at Westport Plaza. Next on City Corner. Hi, I'm Sarah Thompson and welcome to City Corner. The 2018-19 season at the Playhouse at Westport Plaza kicks off this month. The full season consists so far of 13 different productions that range from Avenue Q to hypnotist Richard Barker. Here to talk about more, all the highlights, all the details is Paul Emery of Emery Entertainment. It's great to see you.
Thanks for having me back again.
It was a year ago.
Absolutely.
A year ago to the day, I think, that we had you in talking about last season. How did last season go?
Last season, we had a terrific year.
Did you?
You know, for our second year in operation, actually. So we continue to see it growing. We've been getting more variety into our mix. And so we had a really, really solid year. Yeah.
And you had some sold out shows?
We had quite a few sold out shows. So, you know, Menopause the Musical ran for 3 months. So, you know, that's the longest we've ever done a run. So that was, you know, just to sit down for 3 months and let it keep going and going and going. It's like, what are you doing today? Oh, Menopause the Musical again. But we had a lot of fun. It was a good season. Our Artist Lounge Live series was a huge success with finishing up with the Judy Garland show this last spring. That was a terrific show. So we had a lot of fun and a lot of variety. Like
yes, I remember hearing a lot too, and one that you've included in this season too. The Naked Magician sold out. I mean, I think the title alone, that'll just sell out, right? You don't have to even know what it is.
Well, it's the title, the picture, and then it'll let your, you know, your mind wander as to what it can be. But yes, we did do one performance and sold it out, and so they're actually from Australia, so they only come over to the U.S. for, you know, little windows of time, and they were coming back, and I said, I'd love to have you for more nights. So we booked a whole run in 1 week. With them this time, so now there's more nakedness to go around.
More nakedness for all those who want us to come back. We have some photos of the Playhouse at Westport Plaza. How's the venue been for you so far? A lot of the patrons really like the intimacy of the theater, and
that's all we hear. People love the intimacy of the theater. I mean, there's 240 seats and everything's wrapped real close. The furthest row is 10 rows back or 9 rows back, so you know, you're right on top of the production. You feel like you're right there in it, and we get a lot of positive feedback from it. Actually, no negative feedback at all that I've ever heard, anyway. So people seem to really enjoy that kind of intimacy in a production. And we've all been to the Fox and the Peabody, and you see big grandiose productions, and that's wonderful too. But for our stuff, it's just a little change of pace.
I think people, you know, I've thought about that a lot because I hear that more and more, that people really do like sort of that intimate space. And I do wonder a lot if it has to do with, you know, even with social media, where people are more tapped into what goes on behind the scenes, or the artists. They know more about them. You know, if it was like 30 years ago, you'd read it in the paper, maybe catch a commercial, but now it's like, oh, I know who these people are. I follow them on Instagram, and so to be up close and have that experience enhances it. Now, I don't know if there's really a correlation, but I do wonder if that has something to do with it to some extent.
I do believe you're right, and in fact, some people know more about it than we do, and that's when it gets a little embarrassing. Like, I didn't know that, but you know, like the one show that we did with an evening was C.S. Lewis. Now, that was a show that was, if you're familiar with C.S. Lewis and his writings, and you know, he was a scholar and professor over in England, and he just a notable, but the audiences were glued to every word, and they knew what they wanted to hear. You know, they were so, you know, inspired by his writing. So that show alone was just, we sold out 6 performances. We actually had them for 5, sold them out, added a 6th, it sold out, and we could have done more. People really knew about the content of that particular show, you know, before they got there. And so that was a very big successful run as well.
That's fantastic. Well, let's go ahead and dive into what we've got started. I know, so July 20th is the first show. I mean, I know you kind of put it as the season sort of officially starts in September like other seasons, but you've got some shows in July. So the first one is Girls Night Out. the musical?
Girls' Night the musical.
Okay.
Girls' Night the musical. So I'm not allowed in. They won't let me in.
I think that borderline sign
I
has
know.
some discrimination. So you can't be a man and go to this?
Well, actually, there were a few. This is the second time we've had it back, and it was a pretty crazy weekend. The ladies were having a very good time, and so But as a gentleman, yeah, I was there, as were a few others, but we were definitely in the minority at that point. But it's a fun, crazy, wild show. The women were up in the aisles, dancing in their seats. I mean, I walked in and I'm like, whoa. I thought everybody swallowed pogo sticks before the show, but it was a fun night, and they wanted to come back and do something in the summer, so we said, yeah, let's go ahead and do another weekend and have some fun with it.
That's good. So what is it? What can people expect from it?
Well, it's about a young lady who dies prematurely and goes to heaven. She comes back as an angel, and she's listening to all her friends talk about her and how life could have been. But in the midst of all that, there's a lot of hysteria and fun and craziness, and so it's very cleverly written. But the ladies who perform it are just fantastic. Great vocalists for one thing, but they're just kookier and all get out. So it makes for a very fun time.
All right.
So for all those who plan those girls' night out, this is the place to be that weekend, because trust me, it will be a fun time.
Girls' Night Out to see
Girls' Night, the musical.
Got it.
Right.
And then July, let's see, that's July 20th through the 22nd. And then
Correct.
in August, we get into Elvis.
We're bringing back Elvis again. That was our very first show with the Artist Lounge Live series last year, and which we did the 3 performances. The second was the Nat King Cole and then Judy Garland. All 3 were very successful. We're bringing Elvis back as sort of an encore performance in August. It's the only thing we're doing in the month of August. And
he looks like Elvis.
He's terrific.
Is that
Well,
Elvis?
Brandon Bennett is the gentleman who performed as Elvis in the $1 Million Quartet in Chicago that ran for 7 years. So he's the real deal. I mean, it doesn't get better than Brandon doing Elvis. And, so we thought, it sold out so fast, and it's pretty close to selling out now. And that's how popular he is. So it's another fun show.
Yeah, an American legend kind of just lives.
Well, and the beauty of the Artist Lounge Live shows, if you don't mind me adding here, is that they're scripted too. So it's a tribute show. All of the Artist Lounge Live shows are a tribute, in fact, but they are scripted so that they tell you a story connecting all the songs together. So when you start out with the Elvis show, he begins in 1954 with the very first hit single of Elvis, and then he takes you through this journey of Elvis's life, connecting the songs together. It's brilliantly done, and people walked out there going, I never knew that about Elvis. I never knew that about Elvis. So they do a great deal of research when they tie their shows together. And we came out of the Elvis show doing the same thing. It was like, there was one really funny bit where he talked about when he made his comeback in '69 in the white jumpsuit and everything, and he had all those crazy moves. It's because he was actually taking judo.
Oh, really?
And he was applying some of his judo moves into his actual live performance. We didn't know that.
Right.
But it makes sense when you go back and you see some of that footage of Elvis and you go, oh my gosh, that's exactly what he was doing.
And he's still in character when he's saying all this?
Well,
he's
not in character. He's not playing Elvis.
Okay. So
but while he looks like Elvis and he sounds like Elvis, he's not playing Elvis. So it's not, he is Brandon Bennett doing Elvis songs. So, but it is brilliantly done. And you will not, if you're an Elvis fan, you will not be disappointed.
Yeah, no, that sounds really, really interesting. So yeah, I want to get to this because I love it when you see these hypnotist shows. This is hypnotist Richard Barker. He's coming in September. So tell me about him. There's a kind of neat story to him. You told me off camera, hypnotizing the whole Today Show staff.
If you go on our website and you click on the Sizzle link, and part of that where it shows him on the morning with the Today Show cast, and he hypnotized. He had them all sitting up in chairs on stage, and he hypnotizes all of them, and then gets them doing the wackiest stuff. And it's for real. I mean, this guy is the real deal. I'm a little fearful of it myself. I'm like, I'm not going up there. I don't know what he'll have me doing. But yeah, he is a very, very gifted hypnotist. So I guess it's real. I don't know. Is magic real? Is David? I don't know. But yeah, that's how we're going to open up our season this year.
And how interactive is he with the audience? I mean, should anyone going, if they're sitting in the first 2 rows, expect, or how does it?
You know, I don't know. I think you know,
volunteer.
You volunteer. I don't think he just plucks you out and says, "I'm going to hypnotize." You know, and, you may end up on the other side of town by the end of the night. But you know, no, I think it's volunteer type stuff. But yes, it's very interactive and rather comical.
Yeah,
you know?
no, that's a good one,
Yeah.
a really good one. The Book of Moron, what's that? That follows in September 13th through the 23rd.
This is Robert Dubek's show.
Okay.
Robert was well known for a show he did called The Male Intellect, an Oxymoron. And that ran for a number of years. And then he wrote this show, The Book of Moron, which it's not a spoof on the Book of Mormon. It is all about the idiocracy of America, the stupid things we think and do. And it's rather enlightening. So it deals with all the topics. There's nothing taboo. So it's religion, it's politics, it's family, it's you name it. And it is rather hysterical. It's one of the funniest comedies I've seen in years.
Really?
It has that Mark Twain kind of comedy to it. It's very witty, very smart. And you have to think about it.
Yes.
So some of the lines that when he says some stuff, you're sitting there going, and then all of a sudden it hits you and you're laughing, you're doubled over because it's funny, but you have to think about it.
Yes.
So, you know, he opens up the show by saying, well, if you thought this was the Book of Mormon, then actually this show is for you.
You know, I love it when comedy has that sort of, which a lot of comedy does, but brings that intellect to it and brings that, you know, clearly observational about culture and really ties people together.
Well, in this show,
experience.
we had it in our very first season, and we brought it in for 1 week, and it's sold out. So now we're bringing it in for 2 weeks, trying to meet that demand again, and I hope everybody will come see it. And those who saw it before, come again. You'll love it. It's a fantastic show.
All right, well, we're going to come back and talk about the rest of the season. We've got a lot more to go, but we have to take a break.
Okay.
So stay with us. But up there on the screen, we've got the information for you. If you are hearing about some shows that you want to see, tickets are on sale now, so you can go to the website. We've got that information for you. Coming up, just there it is, the Playhouse at Westport Plaza. There's the address, the 2018-19 season, Playhouse at Westport.com. Go there. You can buy tickets online, or you can call metrotix.com, or for group sales, there's the number on the screen. But don't go anywhere. We're going to have more talking about the 2018-19 season at the Playhouse at Westport Plaza right after this break.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Welcome, innovators, dreamers, pioneers of the 21st century. We've been expecting you to come discover your dreams and make your ideas take flight. Just like so many explorers that came before you. Welcome to the hub of opportunity. Welcome to St. Louis. Always exploring.
Hi, I'm Sarah Thompson, and welcome back to City Corner. Today I'm talking with Paul Emery about the 2018-19 season at the Playhouse at Westport Plaza. We're having a fun conversation. It's always great to see you. And I love it how you just like curate your season. It kind of touches on every angle, covers every genre.
We try. I mean, again, you know, we try to mix it up and make it fresh as much as possible. And a lot of that is what's coming around, what's out there, what's traveling, and we've been very fortunate with a lot of great shows.
Well, let's pick back up where we left off in September. After the Book of Moron, we have Bobby Darin kind of tribute. Darin, Bobby's biggest hits live in concert?
Correct. That is the Artist Lounge Live series, which we were talking about, Elvis and the Judy Garland show and Nat King Cole. This continues that series with Bobby Darin, and Chris Jones is the star of that, and Chris was also one of the original cast members of the Jersey Boys tour.
Oh, great.
So he has great credentials as well, and he actually played Bobby Darin. So it's fortunate for him. But yeah, and I actually went up and saw him perform this show, and he's brilliant. He's a terrific vocalist, charming individual. And so if you're familiar with the Bobby Darin hits, I mean, you know, and I didn't realize how many I knew until I heard him start singing. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was his song, and that was his song, and, you know. But yeah. But again, it follows in our Artist Lounge Live series, which again was a big hit last year. So we feel like we've got a lot of good stuff coming in.
That's good. Now we're going to switch gears to One Funny Mother, and I do have a photo. That's not One Funny Mother.
That isn't One Funny Mother. But if that was, she'd be very funny.
So this is our One Funny Mother.
Yes.
What's this about?
Well, she was Miss New Jersey, as you can see in that photo. That is real. She was a real pageant winner, Miss New Jersey, and she is a funny woman. I mean, she's very Jersey-like. So it's like, you know, but it's all about. I mean, it's all about the stuff about kids. You know, as a mother, which you know, I mean, it's like when you see this performance, she says things that you've been only thinking and didn't have the guts to say. She does it.
Okay.
And it's a very witty show, but it definitely takes you down that parent-child raising, you know, and she has, she's also known, and I can't remember, maybe you have it in your notes, but she has this thing on Chardonnay Go, I believe that was. So,
Really?
Yeah. So she had done a video, you know, Chardonnay Go, where she had to find the glasses of Chardonnay around the neighborhood.
really?
And she's like drinking them and going, you know, instead of Pokemon Go, it was Chardonnay Go. And she got over several million hits on this YouTube video that she did, which propelled her to, you know, a tremendous amount of popularity. But yeah, she's a very clever and funny woman. But, you know, Chardonnay goes along with raising children, according to her.
So this is definitely one that the moms should check out. Get some friends together and go see. And then following that is the Naked Magicians. We already talked about them a little bit in the first segment, but they're back. They're coming back.
They are back again. 2 Australian magicians that they are funny and they are naked.
I know.
Not fully naked. So for those of you, it's not full frontal, but. They leave some things up to your imagination.
Yeah, we did have a photo for this, but we couldn't use it.
I
so
understand
you
couldn't show that picture. I don't understand why. There was a bunny rabbit in that picture. Go to our website, check it out. The Naked Magicians, you'll see the picture.
And get your tickets early because this is the one that sold out last
It sold out fast last year, yes.
Here's another following along the sex tips for straight women from a gay man. What's that?
Big hit show out of Las Vegas.
Okay.
I've been trying to get it here for 2 years since we really began. It's a very difficult show to get here, but it's become a big hit in Las Vegas, and they're going out and they're taking a second company out on the road finally, so that we could finally get it here for a 5-show run. Okay. But it is very colorful. Okay. So you got to come prepared.
Another one we might have to refer people to the website to learn more.
Well, no, it's not like that.
Okay.
It's not. It's you know. It's like I say. It's colorful. It's. I mean, read the title. It says it all. But it's very, very, very funny show. And like I said, I've seen it. I've had friends go to see it in Las Vegas. Said it's hilarious and very entertaining. So I'm thrilled that we're finally getting it here in St. Louis for the first time. And again, the Playhouse is trying to bring in those kind of shows that nobody else would take the chance on. And, you know, some people may spank us for that, but other people, I think, applaud us because we're pushing the envelope of trying to bring shows that tend to be a little more edgy. And then some that are very far from being edgy. So we're mixing it up, and this is one that really mixes it up. So I have a feeling tickets will go very fast on that when it goes on sale.
For this one. All right. And then in November, we moved to November 8th, Away in the Basement, a church basement ladies' Christmas. What's this? A musical?
It is a musical.
So what's this about?
We did the Church Basement Ladies last year, and it ran for 11 weeks, and it's the show that it was made famous out of Minneapolis. It ran for 10 years in Minneapolis. But they made a Christmas version of it called Away in the Basement, and it's... See, all you had to hear was the title and you laugh. But this is the antithesis of sex tips, okay, or naked magicians. This is like I Love Lucy meets church.
Okay.
It's very fun, traditional humor, a little slapstick comedy, and it's all matinee shows. So it's all matinees. So,
and you were saying for the production last year that a lot of churches did group sales.
Lots of churches. I mean, we did over 11,000 people came through to see the first production of it. And because it was so popular and people were like, bring it back, we thought it'd be fun. The producers kept telling us, well, we have a Christmas show. And we thought it would be very unique to, have it for our Christmas programming this year. Untraditional from everything else. You can get the Nutcracker Suite and all that stuff. And those are fun and very enjoyable for the holiday season. We thought we'd put a little different twist on the holidays with the Church Basement Ladies. So
yeah, it's funny.
It's a family show.
Okay.
It really, very
Oh,
much
is
a
it?
family
Okay.
show.
Yeah, I had it initially laughed with this, when I read it, Away in the Basement, but when you said it like that, it kind of clicked in that
It
moment.
makes a little more
Yeah,
sense, right?
It makes it funny.
It is a Christmas musical, Away in the Basement with the Church Basement Ladies.
Got it. And then Shakespeare. This is another popular one, and we've got a lot of photos for this one. Tell people what they can expect here.
Shakespeare, I think when we did this we did do it last year, and you and I talked about it, and I said, this has to be the most fun show I have ever done at the Playhouse. And it's so hard to explain it, because if you think it's traditional Shakespeare, you're so wrong. It's mixed in with a lot of drinking and drinking games, and the audience is very interactive. That's the wheel of soliloquy. I can barely say that. and the things that, when they spin the wheel, if it lands on it, then the cast has to take the production in a certain direction for that moment. But everybody's doing shots and drinking and toasting, and it's all that fun, fair kind of, but by the end of the evening, everybody's a little tipsy.
Yeah.
In the crowd and on the stage.
So it has that element of improv. It is sort of, to a certain extent.
To a certain extent. But they are all Shakespearean trained actors. So they're classy, great actors.
Right.
They just take it to a different level. And you got to come prepared for that, because, like I said, it's the funnest show I've ever done at the Playhouse.
Really?
And you come prepared to rock, because it is not like you would think.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people think it's Shakespeare. It's it's kind of oh no. Oh no.
Another one where in the title it should give away some clues.
Shakespeare. It's a little bit of Shakespeare and a little bit of shots.
Yeah. And then we've got Avenue Q in January 25th through February 10th. We've got some images, and we also have some B-roll that we can just play while we talk about it. A lot of people are familiar with this, but tell us about just putting this in the season.
It's a Tony Award-winning show. The last time it was here, played at the Fox, which was back in 2010. So it'll be almost 9 years since it's been in St. Louis.
Is it really? It's been 9 years.
And it's still running off Broadway in New York at the New World Stages. So it has had a long, illustrious run, still running, very popular. But again, it's very edgy. And it took the whole Sesame Street vibe with puppets and took it into dealing with very formidable issues that we deal with in our culture these days, from, racism to,
just things that are topical and kind of pop culture.
And I'm trying to think off the top of my head everything in it, but it winds fast and furious, and it's very, very funny, but it's very edgy. It's very challenging. It challenges some of your social mores. But that's what I think made the show so hugely popular. Again, when it played the Fox Theater for a 1-week run, it's sold out, and it hasn't been back since. So, we're looking forward to, we hope it'll be a run that extends a little bit more. So we've kind of, you know, based on how well the audience receives it, I think it could be running for a while. But I still recommend getting your tickets as quickly as you can, because it's, you know, it's probably the most popular title we've ever brought to the Playhouse.
Yeah, it's very recognizable.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, I mean, Avenue Q, as you said, you might extend it. Right now, the current end date is February 10th. You potentially might add on more shows to your season. Is that correct?
That is very true, and we always are working on that. But there's a few other titles that we're looking at to add on after Easter, for sure. So you know, Avenue Q could run up to that point. But we hope to bring back another Artist Lounge Live series show with the Neil Sedaka show they have, which is John Michael Diaz, who actually plays Neil Sedaka in Carole King's The Beautiful on Broadway. He performs in that. So we'll have that at some point next year. And we're looking at a few other things like the tour with Friends, which has been a huge hit out of New York.
Oh, cool.
It's a parody on the Friends show.
So,
you know, and we all know how popular
Yes,
that title is. So yeah,
so it's packed.
They're going out on the road finally with it. So we're excited to try to figure out how to get that to St. Louis. And so yeah, we'll be adding on. And I'll be back again this time next year. We'll talk about it again.
And have everything lined up again.
Right.
Well, we've got the information there for you on the screen. Go check it out. It's the Playhouse at Westport Plaza, the 2018-19 season. Go to the website. You can get everything that we talked about in today's show is laid out very nicely on the website. You can buy tickets now. You can get them later. But it's there. Playhouse at Westport.com. MetroTix, and then is the group sales, that's your group sales number.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how do you, I mean, we were talking off camera about just with Westport, I feel like every few weeks there's news about expansions and renovations. I mean, how does it feel now that, you know, Westport Social is open and Worldwide Technology? Is it really starting to get that vibe when you're...
It's not just starting, it's really happening.
Yeah.
There is a real renaissance going on at the plaza right now. A lot of great restaurants. Kobe Steakhouse moved out of the tower, moved down on the same floor that we're on with the Playhouse. It's 2 doors down past Drunken Fish. That's been new and exciting. And there are more restaurants planned to come in and replace some of the ones that have moved out. But there's a real vibrancy going on at the plaza. It's great. I mean, the parking's free. It's, you know, very, very safe out there and easy to get to. So, you know, the plaza's fun.
All right. Well, thank you again for being here.
Thanks for having me.
It's always great to see you. It's really great to see you.
You always make it fun.
Thank you. I leave here, you know, ready, you know, anxious to kind of get
see all the
forward.
shows.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. Thank you again. And thank you at home for watching. I'm Sarah Thompson, and keep it right here on STL TV Experience St. Louis.